All right, there we go. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to Sauce Sports. If you're not familiar with Sauce Sports, a Houston Texans homer network. We talking all sports, but only Houston. But primarily talking Texans on this channel, man. But if you want that other H-Town talk, man, make sure you subscribe to saucesports.tv. We got a gentleman, a long-time legend, man, been holding down around for quite some time, man. Who we got joining us this evening?
Man, you got your Third Coast Sports TV, Wing in the building once again, man. Appreciate it being back on. Let's go ahead and get it.
Already. So we're gonna do something. We're gonna do something a little bit different tonight. And usually, we open up the sauce line and do all that, but we're gonna do it a little bit differently. So if you had something you want to get in, you got something you want us to address tonight, text the sauce line. We're not gonna take any calls tonight, but we got a couple things we're gonna address. We're gonna talk about Watson. Is Watson top 10? And like I said, we're gonna any questions you can address either via Twitter, tag us, the Sauce Sports HTX and Twitter, or you can, like I say, text the sauce line, and we will address those things. So first and foremost, let's run through the little. I ain't got the little protocols on here, so it's all Gucci. Again, so if you want to support the channel, you can go to streamlabs.com/sauce sports. I don't know if that shit might have moved or whatever. Oh, there we go. Hold on. But whatever, they ain't even showing on the thing. Fuck it. Let's get into the conversation. I ain't for the dilly-dally and all that nonsense. So, man, been a lot of people talking, a lot of people saying the stuff in the national media. We already know about the national media. The only time they really talk about Houston is they got some story to blow up or to make some bullshit out of. It's never really anything good when it comes to the city. We already know how that rocks. But first, and man, let me not forget y'all. Let me see who we got joining us this evening. And we are live via Facebook and the YouTube. So I see Young Wawa. I see T Real. What's the motherfucking deal? Texas boy. Jair Cologne. What's the motherfucking deal? Heidi. What's the motherfucking deal? 335. What's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. Aurelius Overseer. What's the motherfucking deal? Miguel Garcia. What's the motherfucking deal? Charles Montgomery. Already from the slum, holding it down in D-Town. That's terrible. Real Swift. What's the motherfucking deal, man? So let's talk about it. Like I said, let's kind of get into it, man, and just looking at it, and when it comes to talking top 10, I'm a firm believer. I know some people like stats. It is what it is. Stats do play a role in a certain conversation when it comes to talking sports. But I tell y'all that when you're looking at stats, it works for baseball, it works for basketball, because the playing field is usually level. It's usually a certain set of things happening. But in football, to me, stats are different. That's why, y'all already know how we feel about PFF. That's nothing new. All these advanced analytics and all these things. When you talk about turf, you're talking about grass, you're talking about indoor, you're talking about outdoor, you're talking about so many little factors where each playing field is different. I think these all have impacts on the game. When you talk about coaching styles, when you talk about all these other things that have an impact on the game, you talk about the talent, like say, especially with a quarterback, you got a lot of guys who do a lot of dumping off, a lot of short passes, but they have excellent receivers who are able to get that yak and make their passing look so much better than it is. I don't think we catch a little bit of a little issue, but we got that. We got it. We'll take care of it. Hold on 1 second. Let me see what's happening here. What's happening? Hold on. Give me just a second. We'll get this tightened up. Let me see what the issue is. We got a little bit of where we at? Let me see. I might have to switch up the signal if that one's acting up. But when it comes to these things, it's so many factors when it comes to football. But my thing is, when you look at a player, before all things being everything else, I think the most important factor you have is the eye test. And the eye test determines whether or not you see anything else. Hold on 1 second. Let me hit the dilly-dally on this one. And it's the way a player performs. It's the way a player appears on the field. You can tell when a player stands out, amongst their peers. You know what I mean? And dealing with what Deshaun has to deal with, the quarterback position is a very difficult position to judge, right? When you look at some of these other guys, when you look at some of the other things that are going on, there we go. When you look at some of the other things that are going on, when you're looking at some of the Okay. We Gucci. There you go. Bring you back in real quick.
My bad.
Already. But like I say, when you talk about a quarterback, you got to look at all the pieces that are around. You got to look at the offensive line. Again, you got to look at the coaching style. You got to look at so many of these things. And I think when you compare Deshaun Watson and what he was able to do, the numbers that he put up, I want to say he had like 4,200 yards passing, maybe a little bit over that. They had a total like 30-something touchdowns, 31 touchdowns total, and I think about 500 plus yards rushing. I know they were talking about over there, but I think it was more than that. But just saying what he was able to put together.
I think it was like 4,700 like total, over 4,700 yards total.
Okay. And so what I'm saying, to put up these kind of numbers with the atrocity that they call an offensive line in front of him, again, to lose number 2 receivers, again, putting all that pressure on Hopkins, and again, you have to give credit for Hopkins being who he is also. But all the things that he had to put up and still make these things happen. And then with a coach like Billy O, come on, man. We know Billy O don't know. And again, for this guy to be where he is, but a lot of pundits, a lot of people, well, his numbers weren't that, his numbers this, his numbers that. The man played with cracked ribs. Man came into the season starting off coming off an ACL injury, played through a lot of adversity, and still found a solid level of success. We can talk about 11-5, and the reason why I will talk about it, even though normally I say I don't really give a shit about it, is because the players made this team 11-5. It wasn't the coaching, it wasn't the play calling. Look at when this team excelled. I mean, even if you're looking at Philly game, which was a loss, what Deshaun Watson did late in that game to make it competitive, at least. Again, that had nothing to do with Bill O'Brien, because they strayed away from the game plan and let Deshaun do what he does. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But I want to know your thoughts. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if you value the stats more, if you're looking at all the other pieces. In your mind, in your opinion, and again, in the chat too, I want to know how y'all feel. But when I ask questions, y'all are part of this conversation too, Sauce Nation. Is Deshaun Watson a top 10 quarterback currently in the NFL? Why or why not?
For me, I would love to say yes. But the only reason why I can't say yes fully, it's not that he doesn't play like that and he doesn't have the ability of a top 10 or a top 5 or a top 3 quarterback. It's time. I'm willing to concede that he doesn't have the time in the NFL, especially when it comes to the postseason, to make that assessment. I would love to say Deshaun Watson is a top 10 quarterback. Not yet. If you got him at 11, if you have him in your top 10, I'm not going to argue with you. But as far as my opinion goes, as it stands right now, the only reason why he's not top 10 is because of time and postseason success. Now, with what you said, and he's in the making, even behind the porous offensive line, because the man is special. We haven't, on Sauce Nation, I guess we haven't really been as reluctant to really give Deshaun Watson more of the credit that he deserves by being the Houston Texans quarterback. But we're going to start that today. Deshaun Watson is a special quarterback. I raved about his footwork all off season last year. The man improved his throwing percentage by 6%. I said he was going to throw for damn near. I said he was going to throw for 70%. He was only down 2% from where I said. Well, not even a full 2%. You know what I'm saying? I want to say he was like 68.6. So it's like a point and a half. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't that far off. I was very close in my assessment, but I didn't quite reach that goal. But the man has done so much. I mean, I think his touchdowns and things like that will increase as long as he has the options ready to go week in, week out. I think as long as everybody's healthy, everybody can get the touchdowns that is needed. And I think he had out of the gate with Will Fuller. He has not been able to start out of the gate with Will Fuller in one season yet. So hopefully this season he gets to start out with Will Fuller. Will Fuller has no injuries, no nothing. And let this man get as good as he needs to get before he is entered into any season. And I understand he's going to need some work because he's going to need to, be able to trust his knees, see where he's at as far as that goes when it comes to the preseason, He don't have to overdo it, but he is going to have to get some time. The same way they did with Jadeveon Clowney a few years ago. They had to get this man in the games to make sure that he could trust his knee. So when the man is able to trust his knee, good things going to be able to happen, and he's going to get behind defenses like he normally does, and he'll be able to make this offense far more prolific than it can be if you have a healthy Kiki, Deshaun Watson, serviceable O-line, which I don't think he will have because of coaching, scheme, and play calling. And I just don't think that these guys have what it takes to push guys around on a consistent basis. Yeah, they'll be able to win some matchups here and there. They'll make it look like, oh, these guys can play. They did that last season. But when it all boils down to it, when you have to play the games, because we're playing premier pass rushers all season, and we're playing harder games and a harder schedule against harder divisions. We are not going to escape pass, and dudes are going to be shooting gaps left and right. And Deshaun Watson is going to be running for his life far more than he was last year because these games are not on a last place schedule. Yeah. So, with that being said, your head coach is more than likely not going to make the adjustments. With this football team to ensure that Deshaun Watson is going to be able to lead them to victory. Deshaun Watson accuracy between 10 to 19 yards is well above 80+%. So why wouldn't you make this football team a team that's on quick rhythm throws? If you start at the 25-yard line, if you down the damn the kick return, like if you just down it, if between 10 to 15 yards, 10 to 19 yards, bro, that's a lot of ground to make up to go goal to goal situations. If you hit between 10 to 15 yards per play, 15 yards. If you get 15 yards on 5 plays, that's 75 yards. That's your touchdown right there on 5 plays. It's simple math when it comes to it's simple math. Do what's needed to require. Yeah, occasionally you can't get these guys off right, but you can only go deep downfield if you have the O-line to hold their ground, maintain the horseshoe, and if your running backs are able to get, blocks in the backfield to equate more time for your quarterback. And true enough, Deshaun Watson has to keep his mechanics intact. He has to keep his eyes down the field, and he has to not put himself in a position where he's taking up too much time trying to do too much and lose field position. I think because that's one thing he has to do. Holding on to the ball, he does tend to do it at times, but it's something that he did work on throughout the season. So I'm not gonna get him too bad. But one of my criticisms of him is definitely that if he can improve his accuracy on a torn ACL in a season where he had injuries, where he wasn't able to travel on the bus, he was still able to go out and go dominate a top 5 defense and somehow still show you that the man can be prolific and get respect around the league, then that just goes to show you that we have the quarterback of the future, and it's going to be up to Bill O'Brien whether or not he wants to use this man the right way.
Okay. Heidi, you're fired. So somebody asked, would you name who would you put on that list above Watson currently?
Okay, Brady, of course. Aaron Rodgers, of course. Russell Wilson, of course. Roethlisberger, of course. I'd have to say, let me go per division. I say Cam Newton at this junction in time. I know some people may think a little bit, but Cam Newton has proved a lot in this football league. He's been to a Super Bowl. He's an MVP. You don't just wipe that away. Matt Ryan, as it stands right now, I'm willing to kind of knock him out, but I say Phillip Rivers. Yeah. But not by much. Okay. These guys that I'm naming right now, not by much. I mean, they could easily be replaced this year, when it comes to that mantle. I could give Mahomes a slight edge only because of the season he just had. He had a prolific season. I know it's kind of hard to hear me say that, and I know some people may not agree, but I'm gonna give the man this because there ain't no hate. It's just that the man is nice, man. I can't say anything different. I'd say Wentz
Hmm.
for barely,
Hmm.
and maybe Golf, but not really. But these are just guys I have to say due to the teams that they're on and the coaches that they have. Oh, Andrew Luck, of course. Um, I can't exclude him. But outside of the quarterbacks that I just named, and that's not even in any particular order, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't really think this out. I'm just saying this on the fly. But the quarterbacks I named have had success for long periods of time. And you can't negate the fact of what they mean to their football teams. And, outside of Phillip Rivers, his team has had probably a far worse injury bug and we have, because it seems like the guys he needs always are hurt, whether it's defense, offense. I mean, he's like an Iron Man, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he's better than every quarterback in the NFC East as it stands to me right now.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers, he's better than everybody in the NFC North. He's better than everybody in the AFC West outside of Mahomes and what's his face. He's better than everybody in the NFC West other than Russell Wilson. So when I go around, oh, and Drew Brees, how can I forget Drew Brees? Yeah, Drew Brees is definitely in the mix. You know what I'm saying? So with all the quarterbacks I named, that's putting him in what, like 11 or 12. Because I didn't name a few quarterbacks if I'm going around the league division for division. I mean, it's only one quarterback in our own division who's better than him right now. We can't even sit there and act like this man that just didn't come back has a great offensive line. His defense is prime to make a push, especially now that they got Justin Houston to go along with Jabal Sheard and D'Amico Autry, who we have a serious problem with over the last few years. And we haven't stopped Jabal Sheard on not one team that he's played for. He knows how to beat the Houston Texans online whenever he faces them. So, with that said,
So
it's just going to be a rough season.
Let's say I'm looking at the ones you listed. I think that puts him at about 13. If I'm not mistaken. So you just say with the ones you
13,
listed.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That sounds about right. That's what I'm saying. He's right outside of that top 10, but you can make a case that a couple of the guys who are on their way out that he could be better than. You could make a case, depending on what he does this season, he can be better than Phillip Rivers and Matt Ryan. And Matt Ryan, simply because he's a choke artist. I mean, he's choking like B Rabbit at the beginning of the 8 Mile. You know what I'm saying? The man, every time he's in a position to perform, he always chokes on it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know what his problem is, but he's a serious choke artist, but he can look like an MVP at any point in time as long as he has the right scheme and his team is healthy. But you agree with my list or not? That's it's no problem. I mean, but I can't just look at this as a Texans fan. I got to look at this from a football fan perspective and just know other guys have done more than Deshaun Watson as it stands right now, and it's only history and time of why guys are being rated over him as it stands right now. But if we talk pure talent, he's better than just about every guy. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, man, they're looking at that too, and so that's why.
Where would you put him now, Honcho?
Only ones that I may disagree with you on would probably be Wentz and Golf. And Wentz only because of the injury factor, and people use that to debunk a lot of Watson stuff. And then Golf, that first year was kind of and then he kind of started coming into it. I can't knock him, but if you want to talk about what they have done in this league, then you have to give him credit.
His last 2 seasons.
Yeah, so you have to give him credit for what he's done in this league, and again, so he's been
right.
So I can't knock that. Newton, I was kind of thinking about that at first, but I can't knock it. Like you say, man, had an MVP. Man has done fairly well. The last couple of years maybe not like the same, but I think there's factors with that, receivers and things of that nature, and we don't even get into who was it, Benjamin and all that other stuff, but.
I seen somebody say Dak. That's just laughable.
Yeah,
Dak, no. Fuck.
Yeah, I think motherfuckers just
you have to be a Cowboy fan.
Super trolling. Only when the staff is not in that conversation.
And I want to give a quick shout out to T'Challa. I heard you had to check a certain person in the den. I had a problem with this person, so I salute you, ma'am, and I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna listen to that part of the call where you was destroying a girl, rat cheetah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Rashid or whatever you call it. that skunk. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna have to probably fire her up a little later on because she was getting a little bit out of line. But if you went here to each other, yeah, I heard great things that you said on the call about old girl about a week ago, and I'm definitely gonna check that out as soon as this stream is over.
And so, okay. So, but like I say, yeah, and I guess with some of the younger guys, but looking at all of these people too, and I want to give Watson's credit, but again, this is going into year 3. You're really talking about a season and a half, a little less than a season and a half.
Right.
But then look at all
Not
these guys.
Not even a season and a half.
Yeah, but look at what all these guys
I wouldn't even say
get
a
put
season
around.
and a half. What 19 games? A season and a half. What? 2 seasons. That's 32 games. He played all 16 games this year, and he played 6 games. He started 6 games last year, so he played 6.5 games. So that's 22 games that he's played.
So my thing though with that, like I say, it is again, it's a lot of factors that go into it though. But even look at all these guys. Look at that old line Wentz has that he's had. When Foles was able to step up behind him, and that's why I say I kind of get questionable about Wentz because Foles was able to step in and then carry that legacy onward. But look at these guys around him, and Luck had to suffer through some trash O-lines, but then once he got a solid O-line, you saw what he was able to do, especially to us last year. Again, so that's important. Mahomes, quality coaching, talent that's around him, and again, a coach who knows how to scheme. That's extremely important. Brees has just been doing it. Brees has been the man for quite some time. That is what it is. Brady, we already know what it is. Rodgers has suffered through some ups and some downs, but again, very talented. If you were to take any of these top, 10, 15 guys or so, who would you say that you see Watson's trajectory being most like? My opinion, I see it most kind of like a Rodgers, honestly. When I say skill set and where I see
Rodgers and Wilson.
Okay.
Rodgers and Wilson. It's a combination, but he has the elusiveness. He has the elusiveness of a. I don't want to say Mike Vick, but I can say Mike Vick to a fault because this man, I didn't watch this man evade 4 dudes like back to back and complete a pass or break off for a big run. He's a little bit more elusive than even in his 2 years of playing than I didn't see Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson just has the ability of being so short that he's harder to tackle. So guys are like towering over him and they trying to get him. So it's a lot different. It's going to be a lot difficult, especially the fact that he's a little thicker and the fact that he can shift and he can move and he has solid speed to be able to get down the field and slide the same way. But if we talking, but Aaron Rodgers is probably the most because he's gonna put that bitch downfield. He can improvise. He can make dudes better, and he can win. He can take over the game if you allow him to. The only thing is, Aaron Rodgers gets to do whatever he wants in Green Bay because they know he's the man, and the Houston Texans head coach is still trying to figure out who the hell his quarterback is when he's already shown us.
In year 6. But that's a whole other conversation. We ain't even gonna get on that. But so now I had a conversation with somebody, and again, like if y'all want to, like I said, we're not gonna open the line tonight. If y'all want to ask questions, either put them in the chat or hit the tweet on South Sports HTX. Hit the Twitters, and the Twitters will probably get priority. But if you are on the chat, do what you do. And because sometimes it's easier to see the tweets than it is in the chats, because sometimes they'll be looking away and all that other good stuff. But somebody, I can't remember who, I might have been on one of the videos or whatever. It was a small argument. It wasn't entertaining it for too long. Said that Mahomes, it could have been in the stream. Mahomes is just as elusive as Watson, and if you would have put Mahomes behind this line, he would be able to do what Watson did, but better. How do you feel about that?
About what?
That Mahomes is as elusive. That Mahomes will be able to be as elusive behind the Texans' offensive line as Deshaun Watson.
Absolutely not. He wouldn't. I'm not saying he wouldn't break no tackles. He's elusive as well, but he's elusive in a different way. He's shift. burn you. He can gas you for 50, 60-yard run, 50, 60-yard gains like Deshaun Watson. He doesn't have that type of ability. But the man is able to shift, move in the pocket, go ahead, step up, deliver the ball a way that Deshaun Watson at this point is probably a little bit behind on. Not to say that he doesn't have the same capabilities, but he just has a stronger arm at this point.
But
You
would
know
you
what I'm
attribute
saying?
that to the
Probably
line that Mahomes has
stronger.
around him? Would you attribute that to the offensive line that Mahomes has around him to allow him
Well, of
to step in the
course.
pocket? No.
Of course. I can attribute it to a few things. One, it's his own natural ability. I'm going to credit that first before I say anything, before I give the credence to anybody else. His own natural ability will come first. The fact that he has solid weapons that don't get hurt is second. Andy Reid is his head coach. That's three. And Andy Reid coaches the plays that he needs. Four. And five, his O-line is helping him. And six, his run game is solid enough. I mean, so what was he really lacking?
Yeah. Okay.
The only thing that he needs is a defense to be upgraded. And if you get him another receiver, if he had Tyreek Hill and Will Fuller along with Kelsey at the same time, could you imagine what that would be? Man, that would be hell on earth, bro. You would be looking at Pinhead, like just open the floodgates to Leviathan and just let Pinhead stick all the motherfucking razor blades inside you and just pull your soul apart, bro, because he would be able to do whatever he wanted to do against any team if he had those type of weapons. Travis Kelce alone is a bad man by himself to be paired up with Tyreek Hill. Then if he had somebody else like the way Will Fuller's been playing the last two seasons, yeah, you can't. That's not enough, man. I mean that's too much. I think if he had what Matt Ryan has right now in Atlanta, if he had what Big Ben had with Pittsburgh last year and a couple of other guys. We can't have Patrick Mahomes with that type of team. I'm just saying. I mean, it's going to be real hard to beat them if he had that type of team, especially a top 5, top 10 defense. How can they really lose?
Yeah. And that's tough. When you're putting up them kind of numbers and you can keep other teams stagnant, it's going to be tough. We were talking about something prior to the stream, and I said I want to talk about this later on, but we can talk about it now. And it was the topic of belief, right? And it was belief in this thing, because I was mentioning about the Tony Dungy thing and how he implemented his system in Tampa Bay and how he implemented his system with the Colts and things. And the players buying in and getting back to the basics. And you're just talking about Bill O'Brien and his inability. It seems like he came out the gate with doing too much, because we talked about even that being the difference between him and Kubiak. That Kubiak would practice a play to perfection. You know, it wasn't about having this extended playbook, this fucking menu with 400 recipes on it or anything like that. But it's about knowing what works and capitalizing on what works. That's why Kubiak was able to run, the same formation over and over, but still to be able to do so much out of it that he was able to catch people off guard until that last year. We know with Matt Schaub just kind of, the arm, we don't know what happened to it. But do you think that is the problem with O'Brien, that he's doing too much? Is it a discipline issue? Is it a belief in the coaching? What do you think is really the biggest issue with O'Brien's coaching?
Pretty much everything you said. I mean, the dude, for one, he doesn't know how to assess talent. He fucks the team up before the 53-man roster is even truly assembled. He lets go of the players that's making plays on the fucking field, and then somehow they get cut because somebody else gets overvalued because he thinks he needs to fill out a position that gets depleted throughout the season anyway. I mean, it makes no sense. It's like he doesn't know who to pick. He doesn't know who to cut. And I can tell that was a serious thing between him and Rick. Like, Rick probably had to stand the ground like, no, this motherfucker needs to stay because, I mean, look at what he's doing. But Bill was like, no, he doesn't fit the scheme and system. So he allowed that man to do his job because he claimed he knew what he was doing. And how is it looking to Bob McNair and all these other guys like, oh, the division is still weak and this man is getting 9-7 and we're able to get to the playoffs anyway because that's all it's taking. But what they haven't understand is the division got stronger.
Yeah, that's true.
So as it gets stronger, you have to get more wins. So you can't win with Bill O'Brien in the way that he coaches the football game because he puts too much on your plate. He wants you to learn too many positions. You can't be good at what you got drafted or what you're getting paid to do. You have to do something else in the event of. Why in the hell can't you just get the players who can play what they need to play and use them the way that they need to be used on both sides of the ball, and you can win football games? Why are you so scared to just let dudes stop it?
Yeah.
That's the big difference between him and Kubiak.
Yeah.
Kubiak let his nuts hang and say, you know what? These hoes can't stop the zone run. I'm finna run it to the right again. I'm finna run it to the right again. What you gonna do about it? We're gonna gas you, and then guess what? If you want some real problems, guess what? I got the best bootleg action in the game.
Straight up.
Andre Johnson, here's the hit. The touchdown you needed that you ain't got in 10 weeks, yeah, it's coming to you right now. Don't worry about it.
And that's the thing, too.
Don't worry about it.
I agree with you with what you said as far as talent. Because, I mean, we look at some of the situations we ran into last year, especially with the wide receiver position. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, well, wide receiver, that's why, in the playoffs. Well, why get rid of guys like Coates? Why get rid of guys? And I wouldn't even big on Braxton, but you go and you get guys who are a little bit more familiar with the offense, a little bit more adept with your game plan, and then Will goes down. And of course, you're not hoping Will goes down. You're not hoping that DT goes down. So I'll give what's his name a pass for going to get DT. That was unexpected, but still, now you're left with a lack of receiver talent. You're hoping on Vincent Smith. You already don't really trust rookies as it is. And there's no knock on Vincent. He was just put in a situation where he really shouldn't have been put into.
No.
And again, so my thing is like OB and the decision making is questionable at best. And so that's why I say I really feel like this season is going to be, it's going to go one of two ways, right? I mean, if he cannot produce you a double-digit win season, because at this point, if we're going to harp on that 11-5, we should accept nothing less than double-digit wins. If that's what we're going to, if we're going to harp on 11-5 to 9-7, if Bill O'Brien is the man now, we should accept nothing less than double-digit wins. You're playing a significantly tougher schedule, and if you can't win against these guys, because these are perennial playoff teams. These are the same teams you're going to see in the playoffs if you get there. So if you're showing that you can't have a winning record against playoff teams, you're not going to be a guy that's going to take this team to a Super Bowl.
If 7 of the teams that we play this year don't make it to the playoffs, I'll be astounded. 7 of them have to make it. No. The Saints have to make it. The Falcons have to make it. The Pats have to make it. The Colts have to make it. I think the Chiefs and the Chargers, I think, will make it. That's 6 already. The Browns might make it.
Yeah.
And the Ravens might make it. I mean, we got like 7 or 8 teams that we play this year that are serious threats to seeding. Yeah. Like, really think of just the teams that we playing in the AFC and we playing some NFC teams. These teams can threaten us, man, and we can't even say what it's going to be with Carolina. We just don't know yet. Carolina's one of them teams that could come out of nowhere and just be dominant this year. Yeah, we just don't know, bro. You don't know. They could fuck around and win like 12, 13 games this year. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but don't be surprised if it does.
Now, you said something super important. You talked about seeding, and I think that puts an extra emphasis on each one of these games because these are teams that you could run across again in the playoffs. You're playing several playoff-worthy teams. And it comes down to the end of the year, kind of like last year, well, did you win against this team, tiebreakers and all those things again. So every game is important. And if O'Brien starts off 1-2, 1-3, I mean, it's a wrap. We're not in a position this year to pull off. There's not going to be a miraculous 9-game winning streak unless O'Brien just says, fuck it. I'm just going to let Deshaun do what he does because I can't coach. I'm out of there. I'm actually let Tim Kelly call some play. He just have to give it up, basically. And let somebody.
I don't want to quote. Not to cut you off. I don't want to quote. I don't want to say Tenny said this. He may have said it. I don't think he did, but I think I heard him say, not for a fact. So I'm not just gonna put on completely, but I could have swore. I think I heard him say that 9-7 could win this division or something like that. I'm not sure if he said that, but I'm well aware that somebody has said that 9-7. If it wasn't him, it was definitely a caller or somebody like that said that 9-7 could win this division. No, the fuck it can't.
I don't think so.
How? How is that going to happen? It's not going to happen. Not in this division. This division is not made like that. And if we do go 9-7, expect us to get, man. If we have, for one, if we have a 9-7 record, and say if Tennessee a 9-7 record, there's no way both can have 9-7 record. We're playing similar teams, and you mean to tell me they not going to beat the best teams that we have faced throughout the season? I mean, if they can't beat the Patriots after just stomping the shit out of the Patriots last year, come on, man. This team under Bill O'Brien, they just don't beat the tough teams, and that's unfortunate.
I agree. And that's the problem. And looking at Bill O'Brien's history against teams that are over 500, it has not been very successful. So you're talking about a bunch of teams that are going to go over 500, teams that, again, like I say, have been year in, year out, playoff contention, if not in the playoffs, if not going deep in the playoffs. I mean, shit, just looking at the Chargers, the Pats, and the Chiefs alone. You know what I mean? Again, like, it's going to be a different season, and that's what people are not accounting for. Again, you go on a streak against the injured Redskins, you injure their quarterback and still struggle against Colt McCoy. You get the Bills in there with a Peterman. If Allen would have played that game, we might have lost that game. Let's be realistic. If Allen would have stayed in that game healthy, it's a possibility the Texans could have lost that game. And that's a terrible thing to say. Again, because Peterman, of course, he's going to do what he's going to do. You talk about the Jets. Darnold gave you issues. You talk about Miami is what it was. They were down a couple of receivers anyway.
And you saw what the Eagles did.
Yeah, and so like I say, it's just this team that's currently constructed.
And Denver.
I can't sit here and say that this team is better in any way, honestly, other than health. Other than health, and that's on the offensive side of the ball, the pass catching group.
This is where we're better, Honcho. This is where we're better. This is where we're better right here. Deshaun Watson ain't got to worry about nursing no motherfucking knee injury. Deshaun Watson ain't got to worry about no rib injury. So Deshaun Watson gets to resume, and Deshaun Watson gets to throw the ball to Kiki, at least Kiki, the tight ends, and Hopkins right off rip. No. He didn't have to worry. Matter of fact, he can throw to all the receivers because they all gonna end up getting some work. No. That's a benefit. That's the only true benefit that I'm seeing that the Houston Texans have a leg up from this year going into last year. If y'all want to hear Wink say something positive is going to get. No. Outside of that, even the play calling, you believe in the coaching staff, you believe in the front office to do what they're supposed to do. Sorry.
Well, what front office?
It ain't going to amount to nothing when the time comes.
Man, look, the front office talks so much about versatility. They fired the GM so everybody else could have a versatile job, so they could all be part of the GM conversation. Not only are the players having to be versatile, everybody got to be fucking versatile. And that's the crazy shit about it. And I agree with you. I don't see any change in the play calling. I don't see Bill O'Brien getting more aggressive, even though every team in the division around you has gotten more aggressive. I mean, Vrabel has showed you that he's aggressive. He's going to go for it. He don't give a fuck. He's willing to put it all on the line and win games. You have Foles coming in.
Right.
The Jags are definitely going to get more aggressive. They're more confident in their quarterback. You have Indy, and we already know what Indy's done. They've shown us damn near 3 times. I mean, if it wasn't for that was them being aggressive that really allowed us to get in that first game and win it. Had that worked, we're talking about a different thing. They might have beat us 3 times. You know what I'm saying? If we would have got to the playoffs. So again,
I said in that game. I remember when that game was over. When we won that game, I was still pissed because of the way that it went down. But I will say, I knew that was the point. That game, week 4, told to be a totally different team, and they were down the stretch. And the main reason why is because when I saw what Andrew Luck said, we believed in it. That was the right call. Yeah. He was like, I missed the pass, which Andrew Luck missed the pass. Mm-hmm. The call was perfect. Yeah. The pass was just too low. It was the right call. They played the right coverage. It ain't like J.J. or anybody did anything spectacular on that play to make sure that receiver didn't catch the ball. And then it turns out 2 weeks in a row, DeAndre Hopkins just is DeAndre Hopkins, and they're spending on dudes and catching passes and getting 30 plus yards to put us in a position to kick the field goal. It ain't like we won by a touchdown plus. It wasn't like we won handily. Yeah, we were winning handily before the second half came. Then the second half came, and then what? It fell apart, and we couldn't score. They held us. Matter of fact, they held us to like 0 points until we kicked that field goal.
Yeah. And how much does that say about in-game adjustments? We've talked about that, and Bill O'Brien and his inability to do that. Halftime adjustments, in-game adjustments. Again, this is a problem. This is a problem when you think you're too smart for your own good, and you're not making the necessary adjustments. It's simple shit. If you see something that's not working, what do? We saw that in the playoff game against the Colts. You see that, okay, you're missing certain options, or they're cutting something off, and you can't do anything different. Again, situation. That's why I say it's hard for me to believe that. It's extremely hard for me to believe that Bill O'Brien is going to change anything, that he's going to do something. That we have the fake offensive coordinator, you know what I mean, just entitled only. Well, we'll see about him calling plays. I don't really know. Maybe we'll get there. He's not gonna call plays this season, because if you don't know at that point in time when you promote him into offensive coordinator, he's going to be your play caller, then he's not calling plays. Like again, that's my issue with this dude. And being conservative at the wrong time. I mean, every first down, you know what's coming. It's like,
and he's not even gonna have any time to be a GM or make any decisions during the middle of the season to pick any players, because more than likely he'll be out of here before that happens. Not only that, too. Okay, say you do end up 4-4, 5-3, or 6-7. I forgot where our bye week is. I want to say we got a later bye week, like week 10 or something like that. Okay, so say you are 6-4. How? I mean, you're gonna have to be. Well, I'm saying 6-4. Why am I saying that? You're gonna have to be like 4-4, 5-3, even to maintain the job. Yeah. And that's at week 8. So after week 8, you're not gonna have any. I mean, you're gonna be in a no-win situation, and only on namesake you're gonna be able to take chances on guys and take on contracts. You ain't gonna know how to handle no contract negotiations or be able to take care of that type of business during the season when you got to coach a team. So at the end of the day, the Texans overloaded him and overwhelmed and gave him everything he wanted. And you know why? I'm glad they did it, because it's going to show that he's been the problem, and all of the other guys. Well, Brian Game was the problem too, but it's really going to highlight him because, like I said, one of the last times I was on the stream, he has no more scapegoats. He has nowhere to go but down. He going to crash and burn on his own. Him and his staff, I'm pretty sure they'll retain certain people on this coaching staff if they do choose to move on. But as it stands right now, I don't see this man being able to take on all that responsibility, call plays, implement a game plan, tell these dudes to do this, tell these dudes to do that. How can you tell anybody to do anything if you don't even have enough time to sit back and do your own job? You got to worry about one thing at a time, and that's the reason why we won't win, is because you put too much on your plate, and you trickle what you want on your own job because you think you're that worth it, and you put that on your players, and look what you're doing to them. They can't even perform at the shit that they got drafted or paid to do. You got Whitney Merciless playing as a Sam linebacker when he's a jack in this scheme. He's where Jadeveon Clowney is supposed to be, and every time he plays where he's supposed to be, he wreaks havoc. But somehow he forgets that when he had that 12-sack season, where was he at? He was where Jadeveon Clowney was, getting all them goddamn sacks against the left tackles. So that just goes to show you he does not care, and even players that we have that is as great as Whitney Merciless can't even get used right. We love to sit here and say Jadeveon Clowney don't get used right. Let's talk about Whitney Merciless and what they don't do with this nigga here. He's been the model. He's been the conduit between Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt throughout their entire career, with the exception of the year that him and J.J. got hurt in the same game, and they showed you that before that, he could go on the field with anybody that from the other side of him and wreak havoc.
And so you said something about 5-3 having to be the record to say week 8. So that's telling me Saints, Jags, Chargers, Panthers, Falcons, Chiefs, Colts, Raiders. That's going to be your first 8. You know what I'm saying? Saints, I'm already counting that as a L. Jags, right now could go either way. And Chargers, counting that as a L. Panthers could go it depends on what Cam
Either
looks
way.
like. Because right now we don't know what Cam. Because at first was Cam wasn't gonna play this season, and now
Cam gonna play, bro.
You give him
Cam
3
gonna
weeks.
play.
Yeah. So he might be ready. Week 3, week 4, he'll be getting back in that rhythm, be back in that groove. Falcons. If this defense can't stop anybody, I mean, again, you got a guy like Matt Ryan, it's gonna be a problem. The Chiefs. But your boy said it last year. The Texans didn't want any part of that action. So where have they upgraded in the secondary? Again, we're going to talk about Roby, Gibson, and I like Lonnie, but I don't think Lonnie's going to be ready. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Lonnie's not going to be ready. It may take him a year or two before he's fully right. You might get, like I said, you bag you one against the Raiders, the Colts. I'm not counting anything against the Colts. I don't even see it. I think that's going to be a tough task to be 500 at that point. Much less have a winning record going into the bye week. So again, like I say,
just naming these teams, I didn't already counted like 6 losses.
Damn, so you get
like 6.
You're saying the Raiders, maybe the
Raiders will win. If we playing the Jaguars early in the season, I think we can beat them because we can beat them in their house, and we've shown that we can beat them in their house, and we can beat them in Houston. The only game I think we might split with them is because they know how to play in London.
Yeah.
And we got to go there, so I don't. They might win that game, so I actually see us splitting with them this season. But yeah, keep going down the road.
You got after that, let me see what's the game mate. So you had I'll start back from the beginning. So Saints, I'll just let you count it as we go. This how the season gonna start. Saints, I'm counting that as an L. Jags second week. You say that's a win that you figure we can win because
that's a win. I get them to win on that one.
Bam. Then we going to the Chargers.
We losing that game.
Panthers coming here.
Then who?
The Panthers are coming here week 4.
Cam playing. I got that as a loss, bro.
Falcons coming here week 5.
That's a toss-up game, but they got too much firepower. I think we'll lose that game.
The Chiefs. We going to the Chiefs. We already know what that is.
We get mopped in that game.
Then we backdoor and go to the Colts.
We're going to the Colts?
Backdoor and go to the Colts. After we go to the Chiefs, we backdoor and going to the Colts.
That's too hard back to game. You know what? I see Deshaun Watson pulling that game off, bro. He'll pull that game off.
Okay.
Miraculously.
Right.
I don't want to give him that win, but I see we win that game.
Okay.
But if you say it's an L, I'm not even gonna beef with you.
Yeah. So let me see where we're at you right now. You got a 1-1, 1-2. You said the Panthers, you giving that one to Cam, or you the Panthers game?
I said the Raiders, Jags, and the Colts game is the only game I got them winning in that little span of games that you just said.
Yeah.
So what's the record for that?
Well, that'll be 5-3 right there.
3-5.
3-5. Yeah, I'm 3-5. Yeah, my fault.
Oof, that's not good.
Yeah. And then backdoor after that, I think you got the bye week. No. You got the Jags again after that. Then you got the bye week. So game week 9 is going to the Jags in London.
Yeah, we're 3-6 at that point.
Okay. Then you backdoor, you come back, you get back active against the Ravens. You go into the Ravens.
Ooh, we have never beat Baltimore and in Baltimore, and I don't think that changes with Bill O'Brien. So I give us a loss on that.
All right, 3-8. Okay. Backdoor, then the Colts come to Houston after that.
T.Y. come here and do what he did in the playoffs. So that's another loss.
Then we Patriots come to Houston after that.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a loss.
So where we at? What, 3-10?
3-8.
3-8. Yeah, okay. What we got? Then the Broncos come to Houston after that.
Oh, we beat them. We beat them.
Okay. Then we go see the Titans after that.
We beat them.
Then we go to the Bucks after that.
We beat the Bucks.
Okay. And then the Titans, the end of the season, the Titans come to Houston.
They coming to Houston?
Yeah, the last game of the season.
We smash them. We smash them. We go out with a bang.
Okay. So, Dave, you got us at about 7. That's looking like about 7-9.
That's what I predicted before the season. 7-9.
Okay. That's tough, man. That's tough.
I think the only team that we get with throughout the in the division is the Titans. I think we smashed them.
Yeah. Okay.
Even though we can definitely lose in Tennessee, at that late part of the season, I don't see us losing in Tennessee. I just don't.
Okay. That's tough. Like I say, and again, I think with another year under his belt with Vrabel, again, who they went and picked up? Who was the backup they picked up? Who they went to pick up? They picked up Tannehill, didn't they?
Hey, y'all cut that TV down. Cut that TV down. Put that TV down.
They'll say that didn't Tannehill go to the Titans?
Huh?
Didn't Tannehill go to the Titans? Who did they pick up as the backup? Was it Tannehill? I want to say they picked him.
Tannehill, yeah, they do have Tannehill now.
So what's the likelihood you see Tannehill taking over from Mariota?
Tannehill is trash.
Well,
Tannehill only had one good game against us in his entire career, and that was the 2015 season. I'm not worried about Tannehill. Fuck Tannehill.
But you take Tannehill over? Would you take? You take Mariota over Tannehill?
I would.
Okay.
I would. He's done more than Tannehill's done in his whole career.
Okay. I wonder how many. What's the over under on fake injuries Mariota has this season?
-7.
Okay.
I think that's too much. About 6.
Ooh, that's 6.
I'll take 6.
Yeah, you know that motherfucker has these mysterious, these fabricated injuries, can't finish games.
But I don't know about whole games. I kind of want to preface it because are we talking about him actually playing full games, or are we talking about games that he was in and he got hurt? Because we got to factor that a couple of ways.
Okay. Because
he could be in a game and get knocked out of a game, or how are we calling him? You just saying he gets injured and he's just not gonna play. He's just gonna miss time.
Can't finish complete games.
Complete games.
Cannot finish a complete game. So even if he goes out, miss a half, miss a quarter, whatever, how many games does he not finish in this season?
I'd be cool with saying the over under. I'd take 5. I take 5 to be that. I think that's safe enough. 5 for me will probably be my number.
Okay. And my thing is too, and I see somebody mention about JJ's career wasted. Yeah, JJ. Look, I hate to say it. Think about some of the careers that the Texans have wasted of solid players and not taking them anywhere close to the promised land. Foster, Johnson. You can look at Cush when he was in his prime. You talk about Dwayne Brown. These are. I won't sit here and say all these guys are all-time greats, but these guys were dominant forces on this team. These guys were valid assets on this team. You can talk about even when Schaub was balling. I'm not. Y'all know how I feel about Matt Schaub, but again, these are careers that have been wasted under the Texans regime. But I think more so now, even under Bill O'Brien, than even under Kubiak, because Kubiak built his. He built his squad. He brought those pieces together. He made his team. Kubiak came into, O'Brien, Billy came into a team that was very talented, has retained a lot of talent, and still has not been able to achieve a level of success with these players. And that's the problem that I have with Billy O. You still have one of the most talented. You have one of the best quarterbacks in the game, regardless if you want to put him in that list. And that's because of what he hasn't done yet. Still having a young career, and I agree with that. But you look at Hopkins. Man, Hopkins anywhere else with a star quarterback, they're gonna take over. You look at the guy. I know Jay Dizzle out there somewhere gonna be upset with what I'm gonna say, but they were saying in the last 5 years, no other running back has had, compared to last 5 years, more yards from scrimmage than Lamar Miller. And it was a little thing that was going around. So Lamar Miller is a serviceable serviceable running back, a guy that if you properly utilize, could be more of an asset. But we know Bill O'Brien is, he's Billy O. He's going to use this little dude, try to run him up the middle. That's not going to shake. Who else? I'm trying to think of other talents that you've had that were, we talk about Jonathan Jones, we talk about Jadeveon Clowney and using these guys out of their element. It's just a problem. Like I said, it's too much talent across the board. And not saying that each one of these guys are the very best at their position, but you got enough talent that's good enough that you shouldn't be having the first round exit, the first round blowouts that you're having against these teams that you're facing. Outside of the Raiders, You know what I mean? It's just like there's no excuse for it, and that's my problem. I don't feel like he's developed as a coach. We talk about player development, but what about coach development? What about coaching development? What have you seen? What could you say right now about Bill O'Brien? We gonna do the positive thing, right? What are you gonna? What can you say about Bill O'Brien right now, going into year 6, that is better than Bill O'Brien year 1?
Maybe he started to make adjustments last year. I guess you could say his time management has slightly improved. As a maybe something positive you could say about him, but play calling, red zone, misusing talent, not being able to assess talent, not building a roster, cutting key guys. He's done that every season. Being a power monger whore, like, bro, the dude needs power to make himself feel better. Because like I said, I just think, like, I mean, I hate to say it, I just don't think the dude is a happy person. Nobody that wants that much power at a job that they're not good at. Like, it'd be different if you were good at your job. You're not even good at your job. You can't even begin to fathom the fact that you think you're that good, that you deserve this much power with underwhelming results with probably the most talented young team in the league. And you squander it. And everybody knows this team is talented. Everybody knows they can pretty much get a player from the Houston Texans, put them on their football team and win a Super Bowl. That's exactly why the Houston Texans from 2011 till now probably have the most winning Super Bowl roster. If you were to take all of the names that have left from Jacoby on back, Jacoby won. Owen Daniels won. Steven Anderson won. Brandon Brooks won. John Simon won. Who else? Like, it's a lot of guys. Like, I'm missing some dudes. You know what I'm saying? Dudes is at least going to the NFC Championship. Derek Newton just was in an NFC Championship the other year. You know what I'm saying? With the Saints. Like, a lot of guys that left to go other places. The only 2 dudes that haven't left who went somewhere that didn't win a Super Bowl was probably Arian Foster and Andre Johnson.
Yeah. And we already know the situation behind Andre and shit. You know, it is what it is.
You know, but when you really think about guys that are leaving this football team, dudes are leaving this football team and having way better success in other careers than you. We never gonna win for a ring with that type of mentality. When you have that type of head coach at your disposal, when you have that type of head coach, it's nothing but, you know, it's just not. Vontae Leach. Vontae Leach.
Yeah.
He won with the Ravens.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? So just like, I can go on. When I really want to think about the names, if I really just sat back off stream and looked at guys that we've lost over the years, and for them to go on to another team and win the Super Bowl, bro, dudes have won Super Bowls on this team. It's just not. I want to say Gary Graham was on that Denver team that won a Super Bowl. I want to say that Shiloh Keo won a Super Bowl.
Man,
he was on that defense with the Denver Broncos. So, yeah, bro, like we lost dudes across the board, and dudes go to their teams. They become better names. Like Bouye was way better on the damn. I mean, not that he wasn't raw his last year here, but he's way better in Jacksonville than he ever could have been here. Yeah. I mean, having the pass rush and having Jalen Ramsey on the other side from you does make your job a little bit easier, but we can't sniff at what he does on his own.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not going to take that from him, you know, but shit, Randy Bullock, I'm not sure about Randy Bullock.
Randy ain't done shit but help the Texans win a game. Shit.
I don't know if David Carr. David Carr won a damn Super Bowl with the Giants. Forgot about him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, bro, if Jadeveon Clowney leaves his football team, expect that man to win like 3 Super Bowls, depending on what team he goes to. If he goes to the Patriots, expect Tom Brady to play 3 more years. Expect him to play 3 more years because he has that man on the other side of his defense, and he don't have to play him no more.
That's tough. Well, here's the deal, man. We're gonna get ready to to wrap it up here shortly, man. But I agree, man. The thing is, at this point, so right now, and again, this is preseason. You know, draft things are going to happen. You know, people are going to end up getting injured. You know, rosters are going to adjust and things like that. But right now, looking at what we're facing, you feeling like the Texans are going 7-9.
Kubiak and Wade won a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Wow, shit. With players that we could have had here, but we ain't even gonna get into that. That's another conversation. But so you looking at a solid 7-9 season. What happens if the Texans go 7-9? What is the likelihood of Billy O returning to the Texans as a head coach?
He has to go, bro. Like the probability of him being gone is, I think it'll be returning between week 8 and the bye week, if it's not determined sooner. I think if he goes 0-3 again. I think if he goes 0-3, they're gonna find out very quickly that this team doesn't have the right depth, it doesn't have the right philosophy, it doesn't have the right execution and playmaking ability that it really needs to contend, and he's just not the coach to get us there. True enough, yeah, he may have a lot of great pieces at a lot of positions, but he doesn't have enough build, and he has no true foundation to pass on to the players that provides wins. So when they figure that out in the first 5 to 6 weeks, you know, we'll decide, you know, of where this team gets its support from the fans, because the fans, I really feel like if they do that again this year and you have Deshaun Watson at quarterback, I feel like it's going to be a fucking revolt with the fan base. I just feel like fan base is finally gonna wake the fuck up and just know the reason why you woke up that way is because of Sauce Nation. We've been telling you this shit, and y'all gonna get y'all Kool-Aid, y'all drinking the Kool-Aid, and y'all got dudes like, you know, the other guy who likes to tell y'all all of these good stories and shit like that, but he can't back it up, stammering over his statements, don't really know what he's talking about, got Google in front of him and still wrong, you know. But and no, it ain't T Flores, man. I've been lacking on everything. That's boxing, that's everything, bro. I haven't done no streams, but yeah, I've been watching some fights. You know, Charlo just got a nice little win. You know, once they already talking about Spence and Canelo. You know what I'm saying? Once he smashed Porter, he finna smash Porter. Pacquiao and Thurman get ready to come up. So I got some videos. Actually. You know, it's crazy, bro. When I do videos for boxing, I get way more views. People my views be up like a motherfucker when I do boxing. I'm trying to tell people, I don't know why that is. I don't know why the traffic is different for me when it comes to my boxing videos. When my boxing videos, last boxing video I did, I think I want to say it was like 4,700 views or something like that. You know, that was a nice little. I wasn't expecting that, but it was what it was. But yeah, I definitely need to go ahead and get back to a little bit more boxing, and definitely, it's not that I haven't been paying attention to boxing. I just haven't really been talking boxing, and I haven't even really been talking football on my own channel for a multitude of reasons. Two, you know, the kids one of the main reasons the kids being here hooting and hollering be doing way too much, and it just be affecting everything. I don't like having a lot of background noise, and I don't like moving around, having to do a lot of stuff. Just have a lot of responsibilities once I get off work, be tired, you know, and, you know, stream times be crazy, and I don't want to conflict with nothing that anybody else is doing, so I just haven't really done anything on my own. But I definitely will once the season and shit like that gets started. You know, I might just pop up and just do a stream out of nowhere. I'm not even gonna make no promises on no stream because I don't want nobody to expect nothing and I don't deliver, you know. So
man, but this is what people got to realize, and I try to tell people, like, especially when it comes to, because like you were saying about the views, like, being a Texans tuber, if you have some idea that's going to blow you up into a big-time YouTuber, you better get over that nonsense, because I try to tell other folks, but they, you know, people think they know it all. The Texans are like the smallest fan base in the league. We're a potent fan base. We love our team.
Right.
But being one of the newest franchises, being the fact that your name is the Texans, it's going to turn a lot of people off, just because if you're not in Texas, you're not going to gravitate towards that. You're not going to be in, you know, right, Wisconsin being a Texan. Oh, I'm a Texan, you know, like if it was some type of animal name or some other shit like that, you know, then people would be fucking with it just because of the name Texas, just because of the way this organization is ran, just because of the way that it's promoted in national media. You're not going to blow up. You're not going to be a big time. If it was the Cowboys, I told you about that Covington video that went from maybe 400 or 500, if that, when it had it. And as soon as he became a Cowboy, it jumped up to 7,000-8,000 views, overnight.
That's ridiculous.
Because it's just the fan base. And that was a year or two old video. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm trying to tell people is like, the Texans fan base is, and especially if you're not selling Kool-Aid, if you're not, putting the extra sugar, if you're not making that solid diabetes juice, then they don't want to hear it. You this, you that, but then you're not saying nothing wrong, but it's just because.
Yeah, if you ain't sugary, you ain't getting. If you ain't sugaring, or if you ain't reposting, copy and pasting, you really ain't. And not to say, but the sauces do. I mean, the views, but to be honest, I only want to attract this particular type of fan. If you're not realistic, if you're not able to use your logic, and if you're not able to think for yourself, because one thing that people misconstrue about me, and I've seen several people in the chats sit here and say, and even when I've done debates, and even when I do that all I'm trying to do is get somebody to agree with me just because. No, I'm trying to get somebody. I'm trying to just make sense. I make logic. I make points that you can understand. I don't just say something. I just don't regurgitate the same shit that other people be saying and act like it's new news because we on Sauce Sports and we talking sports and this is our football team. I don't do that, bro. I'm a different type of fan. I came to the table with a different perspective, and it's just that all of us, like, don't act like, because Tenny was like this. Matter of fact, I remember Ray and Darren. I remember seeing their videos way before I ever did a video, way before I ever got in there. And I used to hate the way them boys was talking because like how y'all be here, y'all be hearing me and y'all be like, man, this motherfucker, he just don't. I used to be the same way with Ray and Darren. I'm like, man, what the fuck? What these niggas talking about? And it wasn't until I got to know Ray and Darren, until I opened my eyes, and right before we linked up and Honcho brought us all together to become the round table. And man, I ain't looked back, man. I ain't looked back. I have not looked back at all. I will say them two right there, bro. They was keeping a buggy. I seen Spitz videos, but I ain't really know about Spitz like that until he became a member of the round table. And I totally respect everybody's perspective when it comes to the round table. Y'all forget before the draft last year, Tenny was so optimistic. Tenny was so pro Brian Gain in the draft, and wait till these dudes do. And as soon as week 3 got here, Tenny was on the other side. He ain't looked back ever since. He ain't looked back.
Yeah, look, I think I was the only one holding on by a string till the end of the season.
You was the only one.
But then once
you was the last hope.
Yeah, and then once that playoff game was over with, it was over. Like if at that point, like I said, if you wasn't seeing it then, it was just like, come on, man. Because even at 0-3, I was like, man, look, anything, yada yada yada, whatever. Statistically, yeah, we still, it is what it is. But then as soon as that playoff game, man, fuck this.
No,
shit.
I ain't trashing him, Heidi. He know what it is. He gonna watch the stream and he know I ain't lying. Cause Tenny knows this. Tenny knows this, man. He know exactly what's up. I crowed up to Tenny already on what I was supposed to crow up on stream. That ain't nothing for me, bro. Y'all, people think I care about being wrong. Nigga, this is sports. No. I ain't got no dog in this fight. I ain't on the field. Straight up. If I was on the field, shit would probably be different, but I ain't. But it is what it is. That wasn't my passion. I don't mind being a fan of this game. I don't mind being a fan of where I come from. But I don't have to kiss and suck their ass just because they play on my favorite football team. Fuck all that. Nigga, I'm gonna say what the hell I need to say. And if you don't like it, nigga, fucking tell me why I'm wrong. You can't change my perspective. You may be able to enlighten me on something, but you're not gonna be able to change it because I'm willing to concede what is versus what isn't. That's why I'm past hope with this team. How can you hope with this football team? I can't even use that word because hope is reserved for people who really need it. I can't hope for this as no football fan because, bro, I'm not even going to waste no time because at the end of the day, I'm only going to be let down because this team has a history of letting you down. Houston is let down city sports-wise, and that's just the God honest truth. I don't care what franchise it is. It lets you down. That's right up. I don't want it to be that way, but it is what it is.
And I think people get the wrong perception because, like I say, just because we're being blunt honest does not mean that we're not going to be rooting for the Texans each and every motherfucking game. I'm going to be rooting for the Texans to win. The likelihood, may not be as good in certain games. Things will change. Dynamics will change throughout the season. And somebody asked what my thoughts was. I'm probably along the same lines as Wink. My original prediction when I did the pre-draft prediction, I said 9-7, and that was jokingly with us beating the Patriots. I don't really think we're gonna beat the Patriots. Just being straight up and being honest with it. That was jokingly against Patriots, so it would have been 8-8. But then and that was before they said Cam was coming back. And so when I said Cam was coming back, I did drop it to 7-9. I did because I think a stream or two after that. Once they said Cam was coming back, I was like, I don't think it's gonna be that. So I'm along the same lines as Wink. 8-8, 7-9, somewhere along that is how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
But the thing about
and we were pretty much on board before, and people act like this prediction is going to change. Shit is going to change. This is just a pre-prediction as to what because my pre-prediction before last year, I was 5-11. I had the lowest. I was like, yeah. And then you know what's funny? I seen motherfuckers talking about, I see y'all last year, y'all was streaming the team. Nigga, I guess you didn't see right before the preseason where we had 11-5 records. Exactly. I guess you didn't see that though. Exactly. I seen people. You see. People love to pick and choose, and they love to sit here and try to bring up shit from the past where I said way before the season started. Yeah, that's right now as it looks right here because shit looking real gloomy right now. Preseason could come, and hey, a surprise just might happen. I don't know. But my gut and my eyes tell me they don't lie to me. I know exactly what I see out on the field. I saw 11-5 last year with the record we have. Guess what it was? What it said, Honcho? It said 11-5, right? Yeah. And we pretty much beat every team that we was gonna that we said that we was gonna lose to. We lost to. Yep. The only teams that I can say that I know me and you personally picked that we was gonna lose to that we ended up beating on some humbug shit was Denver. Yeah, straight up. That was about the only team that I was just like I knew we was gonna lose to Philly. I knew we was gonna lose to the Patriots. I knew we was gonna lose to I thought maybe we might have swept the Colts. I'm not sure if we said that was going to be a split or not. Yeah. I want to say it was a split, but
I think it was a split because I think we said home and away, but it just got reversed. Because I think we said we would lose at the Colts' house and then we would win at home.
Right. Oh yeah.
I think
okay.
It got reversed. Yeah.
Right. So well, either way, I mean, it still ended up coming out regardless. Yeah. We still came out 11-5, so we were on the money. Yeah. You know, dudes was close. I mean, 12-4 was looking like it could have happened. Mm-hmm. It was looking that way. Come on, man. Like, it wasn't really that hard to see with the schedule that we had. That schedule was so easy to predict. It was like, it wasn't even hard. When I looked at the games, it was like, bro, we better win these games. It was only hard when you watched the games when it was actually game time. You were like, bro, why are these dudes struggling against these bums? But leave it to Bill O'Brien and this front office to make shit way harder for the players than it has to be on the football field. And they struggling, then you wonder why they so damn tired and they worn out, and DeAndre Hopkins is hurting his ankles. He doing this, he doing that. He fucked up and he's tearing his AC joint up. And you know what I'm saying? He had an injury throughout the whole season. We didn't even know it. And that shit's whack to me. Why are these dudes expending unnecessary energy when they don't need to, when they need to be right in certain games in the postseason? How are you going to expect this team to be that healthy the way that we play football against these teams that we got to play this year, and somehow they're going to be healthy enough to be in the postseason? Come on, bro.
I'm going to tell you the one thing that I think about that. The one thing that saves this team compared to other teams around the league, and why I think sometimes they overachieve, is because you have guys on this team. And I think that this is going to be a significant impact, especially with the way they're handling Clowney. You have guys on this team that actually cut for each other. Most teams are just a bunch of dudes who work together. Just being real. You get paid, I get paid, we play for this team, it is what it is. This is a team in the sense you see these guys kicking it, hanging out, really having genuine friendships. Even with some of the guys that left, you see them still kicking it, still chopping it up with them. This team has genuine friendships on this team. And I think that the coaching staff holds that back. These guys want to play for each other because they enjoy playing with each other. As opposed to other teams where, I'm going to come collect this check, it is what it is, whatever happens, happens, or I'm playing for myself, I'm just playing to get paid, yada, yada, I'm trying to beef my stats up or whatever it may be. This team genuinely is concerned with each other's well-being, and you notice that was the game when they carried Hopkins off the field when they thought he was hurt. With the Jets game, when they carried him off the field. And again, so when you got a guy like OB handling one of these guys that you consider a friend, not just a teammate, but a friend, and he's handling him a certain way, this is where I'm starting to feel like B.O.B. has lost his. He's going to lose this team, and if he starts out, especially if you start off with losses, because winning cures all wounds, you know what I'm saying. But you start off with a couple of losses, and it's on the hands of Bill O'Brien. Expect it to be a real long season. That's all I can say about that. That's really all I got on that one. But shit, if we wind it up, anything else you want to add before we slide up out of here, man?
The only thing that I even kind of, because what I was brought up with you, like, can y'all just imagine if this team wasn't so lopsided, where the defense was super trill, but the offense was super mediocre? And why do fans not ask for what the fuck they want? This is the only team that compromises and makes deals with the team. And they make deals with their own fandom and say, you know what? If we just win the division this year, if we can go 10-6, or we can win 11-5, if we could just be the specific team this year, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Listen to you, bro. Is this the status that this team got you in?
Like,
that you like, oh, well, if we beat the Patriots, that's all right. Yeah, we beat them. We finally beat them.
Man, you got people who are Texans fans that care more about the Cowboys losing than the Texans winning. That's the kind of fans.
That's true. Yeah.
And that shit blows my mind. Like, I don't give a fuck about the Cowboys except for when we play. Fuck the Cowboys.
We don't even have no dog in that fight. We only play them every 4 years. It ain't even no rivalry. They up on us. Yeah. Remember?
But yet somehow, like, I see, like, the Texans can lose, and I will see memes and stuff posted all over. Well, the Cowboys lost too, and the Cowboys had a better season in the long run than we did last year. Well, they lost. What they lost? Second round? Oh, they lost. They lost. Well, they won a playoff game.
They won a playoff game.
Didn't so, but they lost though. But they lost. Like, or I saw people, the Kansas City Chiefs, they handled the Colts for us. No, we're not in the game anymore. They didn't handle nobody. What are you talking about?
They beat the team that smashed us, and they smashed them in the process.
Yeah, that's the crazy shit about it. So, again, it's a lot of misconception with the fan base. So I could put a lot of it on the team, but I put a lot of it on the fan base too. And that's why I agree with you, man. Like I say, the sauce is for a certain kind of fan. And I'm not trying to knock anybody's fandom. Man, root for you. I'm gonna root for the Texans no matter what. It does not matter, whoever they playing, I'm gonna be rooting for the Texans. Do I think they're gonna win every game? No. But I'm going to root for them. But being excited when your team lost, especially got blown out because another team lost a week or two later, and justifying that as a better situation than the Texans, losing or whatever, or them actually trying to get a win, it makes no sense. And like that's why I say just the people's priorities when it comes to some of this shit is I don't get it, man. It just makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. So,
but to piggy, because I wasn't with my point. Could y'all imagine with the defense that we got and the offense that we got? Do you imagine if this team was as brutal as we played them when we faced the Ravens in 2012, the first game we played when Ray Lewis went down in Week 7, the year that they won the Super Bowl? Remember how we smashed Flacco? Remember how we were scoring? Like, JJ was getting pick sixes. Like, it wasn't nothing. J.J. Watt was swatting and getting to the quarterback. And like, imagine if this defense played as hard as they did when they played Brady a couple of years ago in the playoffs. You remember that defense? Man. You remember how ferocious that defense was that game? Brady couldn't do nothing. The only reason why Brady was in that game was because the offense for the Houston Texans couldn't move a motherfucking thing. If they had a run game, if they had solid weapons, if they had somebody who was more reliable besides DeAndre Hopkins, bro.
If you had Fuller hands this season compared to that Fuller, if you would have had Fuller who had the hands this season, he would have made that catch.
Man, if you would have had Fuller the last 2 seasons,
so
you don't come on, bro. Like, right out of the gate, like, if you had competent quarterback play, if you even had Matt Sharp playing the way that he played Denver, and that same season the way that he played against the Jags that 2012 season when he put up 500 yards, or if he would have played like how he played in that Denver game, like right out of the gate, like, it's a lot of games that I can look back on where the Texans were completely dominant. And when we play complimentary football truly, look at the type of games we had. I can think of 3 games right now when we played complimentary football. Everything was clicking. It was complete domination. 2010 week 1 against the Colts. Smash Peyton Manning. Beat them with 31-10, right? Okay, boom. We'll come back 2012 game I mentioned, the Ravens game. We never beat the Ravens. This was our first win against the Ravens. Battle Red week 7. They just now mind you, T Sizzle just came back that game and they had just lost Ray Lewis the week prior due to a tricep injury, which he came back for to come in the playoffs and they win the Super Bowl that very same season. When you go back and you go look at the way we played that game, 43-13, we smashed these dudes. That's a game. Now think of the game we had in Deshaun's rookie season and the way we did the motherfucking Titans. 57-14, and we played excellent football across the board. When the Houston Texans is playing the way that they supposed to be playing all the way across the board, when we dominate a team, we dominate a team. That's what I want. You can't show me what we can do and then you fall off to the wayside. You know what I'm saying? And just like Kane said, we go out like Willie Lump. Bro, like what? Like, come on, bro. Like, I'm sick of that. Like, that's not live to me. Y'all can be cool with the occasional, oh, we showed up, we showed out, we dominated the team. But bro, that's a division rival. That don't really matter. Yeah, we hate Tennessee, but what does Tennessee ain't keeping us from nothing? Man. Tennessee ain't getting us nowhere. When is us beating Tennessee? When is us ever winning a game against Tennessee since we've been winning the division stopped us or prevented us from doing it? When have we ever had to go through Tennessee to do anything? Realistically.
I'm just sitting there thinking about
these games. That's what I thought.
I'm just sitting there thinking about these games. And again, it's sad that the list is so short of real dominant Texans game with all the talent that has come through here. That the list is really so short of games where start to finish, the Texans just never let up off the brakes, and they really, just really punished the team, you know. And again, y'all can talk about that Miami game was all right, but again, it was Brock Osweiler. We're talking about competitive teams, good teams, right. not just against teams that you should really be smacking the shit out of, that shouldn't really put any points on the board. But and it's sad because this team has been one of the most talented teams since 2012 easily. Like, year in and year out has had solid talent. It hasn't been you've questioned some secondary talent here and there, but across the board, you know, top to bottom, you're like, man, this team has some of the most talented players in the league. You got at least 5 or 6 guys on both sides of the ball that you're looking at, you're like, man, this guy could start for any team in the NFL, if not be a number 1 receiver or if not be a starting running back or whatever it be. Yeah, like, I mean, be a solid contributor. But again,
yeah, the Patriots and the Seattle game. I'll take those performances as hard as they play, even in those losses. I'll take those performances. The way that they performed in those games, man. Come on, bro. Like, oh, bro, do y'all remember when Case Keenum took over? And remember when fucking Kubiak had that heart attack, how we played that first half when Andre Johnson had 3 touchdowns, like 200 yards the first half?
Yeah.
Bro, like, it's performances like that. Like, matter of fact, they got that full game on YouTube. I can't even watch the second half. Remember how we played Seattle 3 weeks prior in week 4? How we was smashing Seattle. Seattle make the adjustments. Russell Wilson came out of nowhere, started doing the defense for the Seahawks started, and Kubiak just lost his steam and stopped calling the plays and shit that mattered. And it's what it was, man. But I can think of so many games, like, because I brought up that week 1 game that we had against Miami, that 31-10 game that we had when Tannehill was a rookie. No. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't thought of a lot of dominant performances that we didn't have, but when you really think about the teams that we played against, think about the way that the team played against Cincinnati in the first playoff game. That's a great game. Smashed them boys in the house. Arian Foster, what Andre Johnson come back after 9 weeks of not playing, after tearing the fucking hamstring off the bone, and to come back and to play like that, killing dudes on double moves and shit like that. Come on, man. You can't. When this team is where it's supposed to be, it's where it's supposed to be.
I agree. Hopefully, man. I don't know if Abilio is the guy to get them where they're supposed to be. You know. That's my deal, and that's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm concerned with, especially when we're talking about the talent that we facing this year. So we're gonna see. I mean, ultimately we're gonna find out what it is. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't get too excited. But like I said, we're gonna go ahead and slide up out of here, man. And we appreciate everybody for coming through, man. You want to shout out to the people before we slide out, man?
Oh no, then just I'm finna shout out to T'Challa once again. Yeah, I saw you got on that rat in the den. I'm finna go listen to your call because I'm not sure you heard me when I said it earlier. So yeah, because she got out of line today, and if I hop in the den and she in there tonight, that bitch just might lose her wrench tonight. But yeah, I heard you call her a fat hungry bitch or something like that. Yeah, I guarantee you that bitch stomach look like balled up homework. I can almost guarantee it looked like a school. It looked like a third grade. It looked like a third grade student's homework, just balled the fuck up. Like it looked like her stomach got in a fight with a lion. You know what I'm saying? With her Rita Repulsa looking ass. You know what I'm saying? Ah! After 10,000 years, I'm free. It's time to planet Earth. With her Goldar looking ass. Oh my god, bro. You see that she don't want it with me because I had to go ahead and I had to kill her earlier. You know what I'm saying? Oh my god, man, with her putty looking at. Oh my god, bro, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get up off of her, but she better not ever interrupt me when I'm talking to somebody else again, because it's clear she don't got no meat that's serviceable in her life. Because if she did, she wouldn't act like that with strangers. But yeah, I'll see y'all in the den a little later on. You just better beware, because if she see my name, it will behoove her, and I gotta bring back my turn. It will behoove her to shut the fuck up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, on that note. Shout out to Sauce Nation. You know, the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world. Shout out to Wingman holding down. Shout out to the round table. Shout out to everybody coming through, man. On the Facebook, I see we had a couple of folks on the Facebook. Shout out to everybody going to YouTube. And I got to figure it out because for some reason it does a little differently using this different service where we going on both platforms. So I'm gonna figure all that out and see why a little bit starts off kind of a little differently, but we'll get it all together and let everybody can make it, let everybody can check it out. But man, with that being said, hey, y'all are all the freshest motherfucking ingredients. Again, we're doing right now until the training camp starts. It's gonna be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. As far as the Texans talk, we might slide some Rockets talk in there because I know there's a lot of folks who want to talk Rockets. I ain't gonna give y'all the Rockets talk. So if we do some Rockets talk, it might be on a Tuesday or a Thursday or something like that, and give y'all some of that love. I'll let y'all know. Make sure y'all follow Soft Sports HTX on Instagram and Twitter to stay updated. Link in the description below. I'll make sure because I have to readjust the description when I use this other thing. But I'm gonna put Wink channel at the top of the description.
If y'all not subscribed, y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to that channel. I know it ain't got no updated content, but still, y'all go ahead, y'all support that. If y'all support the message, man, y'all make sure y'all go do that because I appreciate all that love y'all give, man.
Already. Man, hey, but with that being said, again, Sauce Nation. It's a privilege, it's a pleasure. It's wonderful to get to chop it up with y'all, man. Like I say, as the content, as more stuff starts happening, the content gonna start flowing. But we appreciate y'all coming through. Even with some of y'all salty ingredients in there too. It's all good, man. But with that being said, I'm sucking up a deuce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. But most of all, y'all stay saucy. Y'all the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world, man. Hey, we out.